Hey, everybody. Brian and Jay back again for 10 minutes to profitability. You got 10 minutes, then you got to still go sell some shit. That's all you got. Period. Done. Okay. Can't theorize and learn forever. Sometimes you just get out there and squeeze the trigger.
Quit getting ready to get ready, baby. Go make something happen.
Today, here at Intermetrics 10 to Profitability, we're talking about the option of multiple yeses. Okay. Grows out of the book, The Profitable Consultant. That's the one that captures all the stuff here at Intermetrics that we teach our consultants on how to use personality assessments to grow a profitable practice. So the option of multiple yeses. Brian, thoughts before we dive into that on just proposals in general?
You know what? I think obviously you and I we're like brothers from another mother. But at the end of the day, you know, a proposal, like it says in the book, and the truth is the truth. Nobody's created this from scratch, but a proposal is just a confirmation in writing that shores it up and puts some nice, sexy stuff around it that allows you to deliver and feedback to that client or potential client exactly what we've talked about, the power sources involved, and our approach to everything that's going. It's a verbal that becomes a written agreement on what we've talked about, so that creates some formality around it. But if it's a surprise, dude, you have done something way freaking wrong.
And that's the key. So we're talking about what's captured in this book. These are the lessons that we've learned. Marshall Goldsmith puts a lot of great knowledge in here as well, on all the things that our 1,600 consultants around the world have shown us. And we've learned these from them. I mean, Brian and I have learned a lot of them the hard way ourselves. I've been running this for 20 years. He's been doing this for 20 years. You know, we've gone out and made most of these mistakes. But so the first mistake he's talking about is, I see it all the time. I thought like 3 months ago, somebody was telling me what's going on and why it wasn't working. Or they didn't know why it wasn't working. But they would talk to the guy, and the guy said, hey, you know, I need somebody to come in and do sales training. Why don't you send me a proposal? Okay, cool. You know, thanks a lot. Shake hands, done. It's like, you know, I can't even stand to hold on to this electric rod any longer. I got to get away. You know, they just want to run away and go, oh, let me retreat back to the safety of my computer. And I'm going to sit here and write up this fancy proposal, and it's going to have my letterhead on it, and it's going to look fantastic. Now, if you're working in the government sector and they put out an RFP, a request for proposals, and it's the strict guidelines that you have to follow, I get it. But those are vendors that are on a list that the government has said are authorized suppliers. And that's what they do when they buy $9 million worth of toilet paper. Okay. You don't need that shit. This is not what you're doing. You're selling solutions. You're providing coaching and consulting. Don't mix the two up. And this person was sitting there, fancy 5-page proposal of our history and who we are and quotes from customers. And then option, you know, is go ahead and go for the sales training. Here's what you get. And here's the bullet list with the Ginsu knives and the bamboo steamer and a price. And he emails it over. And the first thing that person sees is the price. The first time they see what it's going to cost is in an email, in a PDF or a Word doc or whatever.
It's the ta-da moment, man. I mean, of course it would work. I still can't get out of my head the idea that we're selling $9 million of toilet paper and we use the word shit in the same thing. That's pretty freaking good. I like it.
You know, I like that word a lot, I guess.
But you know what? Here's the thing. That's what a proposal becomes at that point. If it's a ta-da moment, it's just shit. And there's no way to differentiate who you are. There's no options. Because at the end of the day, this is a very personal, intrinsic relationship. And this concept to, you know, the multiple yeses. I mean, that is the magic, I think, of what we're able to do with our platform and how we interact with clients and teach our consultants to work with clients. It's powerful.
Well, this is what works. I mean, we know this is just what works. It's disgusting how well it works. But it works for a lot of psychology. I mean, it's because of a lot of psychology. So number one, proposals are only written summaries of what you've already negotiated. You best be talking to these individuals live or on a phone about the problem and what's not going well and why it hurts and how much it hurts financially and emotionally and what we need to do, and then diagnose what the cause is. All of this needs to be discussed and then actually said live or again on a phone. But in reality, you have to say, here's what I think. Now, if you need time to go off and noodle your numbers and put together your stuff because you knew, and you shouldn't have to do this if you're old. If you've been doing this for a while, you should know what you're going to offer and what you're going to charge. But if you need time to go off, great. Then schedule the next appointment to say, when are we going to talk again? I've got some stuff that I want to present to you, see what you think might work. And talk to them and put out what you think that should be. And then once they agree, because you have to be able to dance and move and say, well, no, that's way too much. Then when everything's agreed to, that's when you write up the proposal, which is really more of a contract that says like an MOU or memorandum of understanding or something that says, here's what we agreed to and here's what we're going to do. When you do that, we also, rule number 2, give options of 3. All right, that's our recommendation. We call it option of multiple yeses. If I say here's one price and one option, there's one yes and everything else has to be a no. If that doesn't work, I'm starting to take that thing apart, break it down and turn it into something else because they don't have time. That's not enough people. It's too many people involved. They don't have enough money more often than not. On the next video, we're going to talk about value-based pricing, and Brian's going to dive deep into, if they say it's too expensive, this sounds like pat stuff, but it's because you didn't connect to the right value. 100%, zero question, never in my life has this been wrong. If they say it's too expensive, you're not connecting to enough value. It may not be that you haven't shown them, it's that you haven't connected it to the true value. But here we're talking about the option of multiple yeses. So you create 3 options. You start with your ideal option. I'm going to work with these 10 senior managers. I'm going to provide A and B and C. I'm going to do this on a quarterly basis, on a weekly basis. I'm going to provide them with an advanced insights, debrief it, blah, 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 blah. That's great. That's your program. That's what you're going to do. And here's what it's going to cost. But don't stop there. That becomes B. That becomes Goldilocks in the middle. You want to create one below it and one above it. Now, if I just give them B, again, I only have an option for one yes, because I've only given them the option to say yes or no. That's it. I don't like those odds. So like cars, they have different versions. Think about it. Car industry is very smart. They figured this out. You got the base model, and then you got this nice model above that, and then the super premium EX model above that. If the person looks at you and says, oh, I like all that stuff, but I don't have that much money, can we cut the price on that? Rule of the universe. If you change price, change value. If I raise price, I better raise value. And if I lower price, I lower value. Absolutely 100% correlated. They have to be. So you're in a bad position when somebody says, well, I love that, but I don't want to pay $30,000 for it. I can only afford 20. Can we get it for 20? You have no basement. There's nothing below that. So they start to negotiate, and it's hard for you psychologically to push back. It can be. It depends on how great a salesperson you are.
Well, I think a lot of that comes into play too, Jay, early on when you're discussing the issue and how long it's been an issue. You've quantified it. All those, there's an entire segment and a video on the quantification of that power source, which I think is incredibly powerful to go and watch. But as you look at that, that's the part where in that, like you talk about, that discussion piece, we're doing some trial discussion and some scenarios. I say, hey, this is an idea of what could occur. And then when we talk about that idea, that goes into option A, B, or C.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's your value connected to, okay, there's some exercises we could do as we put people together. There's some reports we can create to show that diversity of team development. And they go, ooh, that's pretty cool. Well, diversity of team development might be in the, the level 2 or 3, offering versus the level 1, which may be that base model. So that's an opportunity to make sure, I think, when we're conducting those conversations to kind of throw those ideas out there of what could occur. And then the clarity that says everything we talk about will be optioned, but it'll be optioned based on different offerings, agreed upon types of things.
So you got to give them 3 options. Start with what you think is most ideal, but remember that rule, the universal rule. As price changes, value changes, or content changes, or whatever you want to put. So if you then go down to an option C, take some of that value off the table and adjust price accordingly. Go up, don't go down 2. Start with your ideal, go down 1 and go up 1. Create an A. An A is not the ideal. A is over the top, like, wow, I'll give 3-hour debriefs to each one of these individual managers as opposed to 1. I'll give profiles to everybody in the company who reports to these managers as part of it. Extra stuff with a premium price.
Well, and Jay,
50% of the people are going to choose option B. They're going to go Goldilocks. It seems to be the more responsible one.
Well, and I think the thing, Jay, you talked about with that, are we at 10 already?
Yeah, sorry.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, cool.
I know.
There's a nugget. Take it.
Time to go make options of multiple yeses. 3 options, Goldilocks, go sell some shit. Thank
Boom.
you, Brian.